to this day, I ask everybody, I come to these things, whose airplanes were they? Because they always told me. I mean, I got checked out by a guy in civilian clothes, and he brought his 2 kids with him. They're 10 or 12 years old. And we went down to Bangkok. He wanted to ride with me to see if I could fly the airplane. Came back with a load of Air America cargo. And then I flew, I won't go into all the details, but I asked him one time, hey, do you think I could take one of those airplanes and go to Bangkok sometime? He said, yeah, when do you want to go? I'll put it on here. And I could just go anywhere. And they said, just... So we went a couple times. I took the airplane, and he said, just don't try to buy gas at a military base or from the Air Force. These airplanes don't exist. And he says, you can get fuel from Air America, but you can't get it from the Air Force. And this guy's cussing me out. He's not going to let Zeke and Dale Stovall and take it, but I don't know whose airplane to this day. And it's interesting, another part of it, one of them, I don't remember the tail number, I have it in my logbook, it crashed in El Paso, Texas, about 2 years after the war ended. And how the hell that airplane got from the back of the Air America ramp in New Dorn to El Paso, Texas.
I got a pretty good idea. We'll talk after this.
Okay.
I got a pretty good idea on how that happened.
I might have too, but it would be fun when we're...
That's one of those things, that's total conjecture, and there's been enough pieces that I've heard over time that maybe, depending on where it wound up at the end of Vietnam or South Vietnam when it fell, how did it get to, I got an idea.
Well, that's one tidbit of my story too. We had several trips to Vientiane, and we'd spend time on the ground there, 4 or 5 hours, waiting for our VIP customer to come back. And sometimes we took Air Force generals, I forget their names, 2, 3-star generals that wanted to go to Laos. They'd come to Udor and go in our restroom, change their clothes into civvies, and then we'd take them up there in the civilian clothes, You gotta wait for them to come back. But one of my time there, sometimes we go into town, sometimes we just stay at the airport. I went into Continental Air Services and asked, I met the guy Dick Douglas, who was a chief pilot for Stoll operations. So I'd like to, what I need to do to work here. And we talked for a while, and he says, well, as soon as you get out of the Air Force, I'll give you a job. And so I spent the next 1.5 years trying to get out of the Air Force, and the war ended before I did, so I never went back to go to work for them.
Those were some cool aircraft. I had a friend of mine that would ferry those to South America. And he and another guy, they'd take 2. And they were discussing, if an engine goes out over the ocean, what's your plan? And the one guy said, I'm just going to point the nose down. I don't want to be out there swimming with the sharks. He's thinking, there's nobody out here to save you.
Yeah. So I had a lot of...
Lagos, Nigeria is where they were ferrying those 2.
Oh, yeah. You go across over to the island out there. Getting old, don't remember those names.
That's fine.
And so I had a lot of varied experience in 2 years, and I got 1,000 hours in the EC-47 1 year, 1,000 hours at Udor in the second year. You don't get 1,000 hours a year in the Air Force.
That's a lot of flying.
Yeah, and of course we were flying 5 or 7 hours a day, so
it added up.
Yeah.
So your technical designation, you were in the Air Force, but you flew in sterile aircraft most of the time?
Not most of the time, but the Air Force airplane, there was EC-47,
Okay.
we just, yeah, there's no question that the Air Force owned them and we were Air Force people, but they wanted us to,
Now, it looked like Air Force people.
yeah.
I got you.
And this story they told us, which if we got shot down in the EC-47, they wanted the security service people that had a lot of knowledge, secret stuff. They didn't know who they were or who some dumb pilot is, you know. And so I don't know any secrets. Don't beat me up.
I'm just flying the plane, man.
Yeah. And you know, Baron 5-2 was the Carlson with Baron. It was EC-47. They got shot down in Laos a week after the ceasefire, and everybody died there. And that's another big controversy that you're probably aware of. But
That one I hadn't heard of. So Baron 47,
5-2.
Baron 5-2.
But they found the bodies of all 4 aircrew members, but they didn't find one body of security service people. And the big conspiracy thing is they were spirited off to North Vietnam or to Russia or to China or somewhere, never to be seen again. They're still MIA. And
Well, Duke, one of the security police, was saying in '75, after the war was over, there'd be F-4s that would land at NKP, and they were shot to pieces. And he's, you know, this is well after the war was over, so there was still something going on, definitely in the intelligence gathering. You know?
yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah.
The only time F-4s would be at NKP is if they had severe battle damage, and a short runway is better than no runway, because they normally would need more. I forgot what we had, 6,000 foot runway.
No, he was. I'm pretty sure he said it was NKP, but maybe we were talking about NKP and Utapao a bunch, and Utapao was B-52 base, but
Yeah.
that was much farther